Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to work on the RAM again today. I'm going to switch out the halogen headlights for the night edition LEDs. And these are factory lights. I just feel best doing it that way. They just tend to last. I got this wiring harness where this is going to directly go into the BCM, and everything's gonna work like factory, so there's not gonna be no adaptive plugs. You'll just be swapping some things over on OBD, alpha OBD, and um, that should be it. So, with that being said, we'll start taking this stuff apart so that we can get the headlights out and get these new ones in there. I am going to run the wires through the same hole I've been using for everything else right there. This should be able to fit through there. All right, so the first step is you're going to pull all these push pins out, and you're going to just take this piece out of here. Now, this piece is just a little different than one without that type air cleaner, so it's not, there's no issue. It's pretty much exactly the same. Then after that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 bolts to take out here to pull this like brow section out. So after you have these are 8mm screws, and there's a couple 10s. There's this little thing that they'll sit in here. Just kind of lift it up and slide this out. I was grabbing onto this whole thing. I actually took a couple out for the grill. So now the next part, you have to take off these front pieces below the headlight, which I will have to get to. There's one bolt behind inside the fender well there that you have to get out on each side. Okay, so with this fender well, you have to take off all these screws here and pull it back. You can't be like gentle with it because it's just, it can handle it. So I'm just saying, you got to pull this back to access. There's a bolt that goes up in here. You can see the hole, and it goes into that thing right there, which goes into the corner of this. So when this is on there, once you pop that loose, you can just pry it off this way, and it comes right off. It's a hell of a lot easier than trying to pull it off from the front way. And that's pretty much it for access to the headlights. So now we can get those out. So I removed, there's 3 screws here, 2 10mm and 1 8mm. Same on both sides. And then up here, these like are inside. You gotta lift them up a little bit. Easy as that. After all those were removed, there was only 1 screw left on the side here, and it's pretty much free. Other than just unplugging it. So I have to look and see how you do that. Alright, so there was nothing. So literally, there's a side marker light that I had unplugged, wherever that went. Oh, I just twisted it out, pulled it out of the hole, and then unplugged the bulb right there, and it's out. So let's do the same thing for the other side. So I will tell you where I got this wiring harness from in the description. But so you got your pins. There's 4 pins that are going to go into the cab. So this is obviously going to run alongside here. And so I'm going to put it through the firewall, and that's going to go to the BCO. And then here are the plugs, which the factory plug will plug into it, and the other one is going to go straight into the new LED light. And then it has a whip that's going to go to the other side. So I just have to figure out how I want to run it across there, and I put everything back. Now, the side marker lights, I guess you just take the lights out and tape them up because you're not going to use them anymore. You can just unplug them. Yeah, and they're just going to sit in there and no longer be used. So just for now, I got the grill just kind of just sitting in there. The lights are just sitting in there. They're not tight. They're just they're just sitting there right now. I got the cables. What I did is I just took these 2 screws out for the air box and just lifted it up just enough to get this wire to run across, and got that plugged in. It was just, there's nothing special about it. You just, you know, plug the one into the existing wiring harness of the truck, and then the other one goes into the light itself. So I do have extra wire here, so I'm going to pull some back because there was plenty inside. All right, this might be a little out of order or chopped up, maybe not, but this is a week later. I did have a problem with one of the lights. The grounding light did not work on the other one, so this is the replacement, so I was just checking it. So what you have, this wiring harness that you get, that's the stock plug. This is the plug that plugs into that, and then this goes into the new LED light. And then this wiring harness I have running across the front. It's going along here into the firewall, and those wires get directly connected to the BCM. So I'm just in the process of just reinstalling the LED lights. These I'm going to remove and just put them away somewhere, or I'll just stick them in the headlights, and we'll get to it. Okay, literally from the last cut I just showed, all I did was put the grill back in and the lights, and they just set in, and you got these bolts here. There's a locating pin for the light, that, and then just these here. There's 3 up front on each side. So there's really nothing to this. You just slide this on and get these bolts in, and then now I have to put these pieces on here, but it is working. They are working. I'm still gonna go into the Alpha OBD and set all that stuff, but as of now, I know that from last week we're good. Also, while I was at it, I added the LED fog light bulbs. I wasn't going to put the regular LED. I have the brackets and the piece that goes here for that, but I did put them in here, and they are so bright and work so good. I'm just going to leave them. Maybe down the road I'll switch them out, but for now the bulbs are good. So as far as putting these pieces back on, like I said, there is a 10mm bolt that goes in, and it's like, it almost seems like it doesn't even need it. But I mean, I want to put it on, but if it wasn't there, you wouldn't need to take the inner fender liner loose to get it out. I didn't notice there being an issue with it not being in there, because I drove around with it for a week. I don't, with all the stuff that I have, like the extensions, for the fender flares, all that's going to tie it together. I can't see how it can come off or come loose. right in. And it was pretty solid when I went to take it off this time. I'll show you, there's a little latch. So when you go to take these off, there's this little tab right here. And basically if it's pressed in, it just peels right off with no effort. So just, if you're fighting it, that's all you gotta do is you could just put a screwdriver in between the metal and this tab, if I can show it. Right, that tab right there, and it comes right off. But now I'm just putting it back together. So there is a bolt that goes down this way, up in here. Yeah, right there. So I guess I'm gonna put that in. So I kind of skipped the boring stuff. I mean, I just put the flares back on. That bolt is back in here connecting these two. When you're putting this together, there's, the bunch of the push pins. There's two larger ones. And just make sure that you put them in here. Because if you don't, you might put the smaller ones in on accident, then put that other cover on along with the 1 million other ones, and then you have to take them all back off if you feel like putting them back in there. But so it's pretty much all buttoned up except for this piece up here, and abracadabra, it's all back together. So the next thing I'm going to show the last thing is the pins. It's easier to do it that way for me. But the next thing is the alpha OBD, and there's a whole list of stuff for that. All right, so we are in select procedure to start. We are going to go to vehicle configuration, car configuration change. Now we're going to go start with CB features. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I'm going to have them in any order here, but let's see. LED turn lamps present. I'm going to go to yes, start. It says it's set to no right now. We're changing it to yes. Procedure completed. Next, we'll look for, I have a list sitting here next to me. It's all going to be under LED stuff. Dedicated daytime running lights present. Next, low beam lamps. High beam lamps. Now look for park. LED front park. Now the next one, we gotta look for the right We want this CBC config IO right dedicated daytime running light signature LED present signal 2, and then you want the right and the left. Found the left one. Now also, to find stuff quicker, you can type words in and it'll come up. So we want signature light present. Next thing we want is pin 25. These be like fault if you have a light out. So we want the pin 25 and pin 28. Now that's all of them. They're all done. And now back in the menu, and I did this headlight change today along with that. I did another video on doing the off-road pages, so I'm going to go back up vehicle configuration to file and then just hit start, and then now it's going to copy all the changes I made so that it can return back if anything ever changes, like if you had a vehicle update or whatever. And here it's got the date 2023 10/19 17, so that's 5:01 and 10 seconds. So that's it for that part of it. So there you have it all back together. I have the taser hooked up to it. So you also can get that light show. I use that for like an emergency or something like that. So it looks like everything is working. I'll have to check the headlight level later. Next, I'll go over the pins on the BCM, and that's basically it. I know it seems like a lot, but literally after taking it apart that one time, it took me 20 minutes to put this all back together. I'd say probably 30 minutes total work. So we'll get to that BCM part. Okay, so this is the BCM. The connectors C1, C4, and C6. There's two that go into C6, and the wiring harness that he sends you has the pins labeled so you know where to put them. And on the connector itself, it shows, you know, where one is, and then at the other end, it'll say, example, 24. So you would have to count in you know, so many. If it was, say it was 21, you would count in 3 from the end of 24 and put your wire in there. If there are existing wires in, you just remove those and replace them with these, and that's it. I was able to leave that pinned and all connected with the stock halogens when I had the one issue with the one light, so it didn't affect anything. I just left it all hooked up. I just didn't have the pigtails under the hood plugged in, obviously, to the other light. So this is located in the kick panel by your left foot if you were in the driver's seat. So of all things, this is probably the worst part because of the congestion, but I'm coming through the firewall. You see those wires right there coming down, but the BCM is up here. And it looks like, you see the white here. You know, it looks like those would be hard to work with, but once you unplug them, they will come down to about this level here, so you can work on the pins, you know, let's say in this area. Now if I had the cables out here, like if I had some I don't know, demonstration style ones, I would show you how to do it, but it's not that hard. There's videos to show you how to pull that out, but that's where that's at. And it did not take that long to install those wires. It was just more frustrating that that one light wasn't working correctly, and I had to reassemble the whole front end with the stock lights and then take it apart, knowing I would have to take it apart again. But no, that's it. So these are the dark, I don't know, they call them night versions or what, but they go, they're just like the other lights except LED basically. But they look a little sleeker and they are way brighter. I did check the height. They are exactly the same height, side to side, so I'm gonna run with it. It looks like they're at where they should be at. So this was a great upgrade because the stock halogens, I don't even know why cars come with them anymore because you can barely see. So that with the LED fog lights, I'm looking forward to being able to actually see at night. So this truck's almost done. There's just these wheel spacers that I'm waiting for through the mountains of whatever to come here, but we'll get to that when I get them. So please like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.